Hi, this is a test. Test. To see if Lee can join us. Let's see. Hi, Dana. Okay, great. You can see me. So now I can invite you. And, ooh. So Texas Tradition Boots. I'm gonna invite you on. Oh, I'm wondering, Lee, do you think you can request to join? Yes. Okay, now I can. Sorry, we're doing a little rehearsal. Connecting. Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? We might as well do it. I was thinking it's a rehearsal, but I think now that we're on, should we just stay on?
Yeah, we can do that. That's cool.
Okay.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you finally. Oh, where are you located right now? Hold on. Let me just post my comment. And I can pin the comment so it's a title. Great. Oh, whoops. You can see that's my. How do I flip it? Oh, flip.
There you are. Okay, I can see you now.
You can see it's in my laundry room. It's closest to my Wi-Fi, but actually I'm not using Wi-Fi. Oh, I wonder. Hold on a second. Sorry. Let's see if this is gonna work. All right. Let's set up.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I guess, I've heard so much about you through so many different shoemakers, and I think the first one that's been telling me is like from years ago, Eddie from New York.
yeah, Eddie's a cool guy. He's a friend of mine. Yeah.
He's been telling me about you, how he was going to go and learn a little bit from you.
Yeah.
And
he would come down once a year, and we would go ahead and he'd spend a week with me once a year, and but anyway, I really like Eddie, and he's I actually visited him in New York in 2012, and he took me around, and I was up there to measure somebody. And we actually went to a shoemaker in New York together, and let me see if I can find the name of that guy. I'm just walking around here. Let me see, Oliver Moore.
Yes.
Yeah, so we went to Oliver Moore together in 2012. And the funny thing is, Kiko, I had gone there in 1976 and applied for a job. And they turned me down. And so I went back there in 2012 with Eddie, and so I asked the guy if he was still considering my application, and he laughed. But then we went into the basement, and it was filled with these Russian shoemakers.
Yep.
And there was one guy there from El Salvador. And so I speak Spanish, so I could talk with him. But the Russian shoemakers I couldn't speak with. And Eddie speaks Russian. So we were able to converse with him. And, anyway, it was really funny. And we had a great time. Have you ever been there, Kiko?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And I'm glad I didn't get the job, because I would have wound up working in the basement.
Yeah.
Which is not cool.
Not great. Yeah, and the fume and everything, it's all right there.
Oh,
there's no ventilation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but anyway, I've been aware of you guys for a long time, and I've known people that have gone to see you, and so it's just a circle of shoemakers, etc.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
thanks for taking your time today.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're closed currently.
Yeah. Okay.
We're never open on Monday.
Okay.
The shop is open Tuesday through Saturday. But so Mondays, like today, we just had to do some stuff. I mean, we're always here, but the fact is we're close to the public. And especially now, since the coronavirus thing, we're still closed. We're currently closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do any like online or phone conversations or FaceTime with some clients or?
I mean, we're constantly getting emails.
Yeah.
And of course, we're dealing with them through email. No face mail, no FaceTime.
Okay. All right.
And we haven't had anybody here at the shop. I mean,
Right.
so the shop is located behind where I live.
Okay.
So I can literally walk out my back door and I'm at work. So I have been working.
Good.
I've been, making boots on my own. And Carlin, who's next door in the office, has been coming in too. So we're still working, just as we don't have any help right now.
Right.
And at some point we're going to get everybody back together again and reopen the shop to the public.
Yeah.
And do a lot more work than I'm.
Do you have an idea of when that might be? Is it like within a week, or is it like?
Oh, it's going to be longer than a week.
Yeah.
And so Carlin and I are just trying to figure out how to do it.
Right.
So it really is, how do we open up? How do we do it safely?
Yeah.
I don't want anybody here feeling like insecure about their health.
Yeah.
And so all of this stuff is going to have to be discussed.
Yeah.
And before we actually do it.
Definitely.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, I can still work.
Yes.
I can
have you been working
out.
on?
Oh
have
yeah.
You been working on something for yourself, or
no,
is it?
No. Everything is for customers.
For customers.
There's this old saying, that the plumber's plumbing is the worst.
Shoemakers with no shoes.
Exactly. So I have 2 pair of boots, and I don't have time to make boots for myself. So everything is all for the customers.
Right.
So.
I wanted to hear, like, you sent me a photo. I actually posted on Instagram of your youth, and you went to a boot making school, which is fascinating that they used to exist.
Well, so in 1972,
okay,
I grew up in Vermont. That's right. And so in 1972, when I graduated from high school, my mother said, "Okay, what are you going to do?" And I was college prep, but I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to do something artistic, and so I wound up getting a job in Vermont to learn how to repair shoes, and then on my own, I tried to learn how to make them with limited success. And in 1974, I went to North Conway, New Hampshire, to try and get a job with Peter Limmer and Sons, and they make hiking boots. They made hiking boots, and they're still in business. And they said no, they wouldn't hire me. Anyway, so I wound up in 1975 trying to figure out where I could go to school to learn.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was in Lynn, Mass.
Yeah.
There was the shoemaking school there, and they had just closed.
Oh.
So then there was a place in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I went there to check it out to see if it was anything I wanted to do, and it was awful. It was terrible. And it was so depressing.
Oh no! What do you mean? How was it like? Was it like gearing somebody towards a factory worker?
Well, you have to remember at the time, I was probably 19 or 20, and you want to be around people your own age.
Yeah.
You don't want to be around people who are Anyway, so it was a very depressing school. It looked terrible, looked run down. It just wasn't anything that as a young person I wanted to do.
Right. It wasn't inspirational.
No. It was so I got on I think I took a bus from Altoona, Pennsylvania, and went to New York City, and then went up to Vermont and tried to figure out, okay, now what are you going to do? And so I believe it was in March of 1975, after working with my high school guidance counselor, I found Oklahoma State University Technical Branch. And that was in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. And so they taught like diesel mechanics, jewelry making, art, they did all, you know, they had many different kinds of classes. You could go there and learn how to be a cook, you know, how to be a pastry cook or a,
Oh, that's great.
but they had a boot making course. So
Very specific. Yeah,
yeah,
it's not. It wasn't leather making,
well,
leather work.
it was shoe repair, shoe and boot repair.
It's fascinating.
It was boot making, and it was saddle making.
Wow.
So I'd already been repairing boots and shoes for 3 years, so I didn't need any help there. Well, you know, so I wanted to be a boot maker, and I went there. You know, I got on a plane in Albany, New York, and I flew from there to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I had never seen a cockroach in my life. You know, in Vermont, they don't have any cockroaches. So.
Is it too cold up there? No.
It's too cold, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so there was lots of cockroaches in Oklahoma. There was, you know, it was hotter than hell.
Oh my gosh.
And so, you know, you needed to have air conditioning, and in Vermont, you don't need air conditioning.
Right.
So anyway, so it was a 2-year program.
2-year program.
Yeah, 2-year. And I was able to do it in a year and a half because of my prior experience. And so the funny thing was, you know, that's really where I learned, you know, at the time I wanted to make hiking boots and cowboy boots. And really when I got there, I just decided, you know what, cowboy boots is what I want to do. No more hiking boots. No more hiking boots. I mean, I made a pair, and you know, it was like boring, you know. So I wanted to make cowboy boots. And so that's what I did, and I made 13 pair in a year and a half.
Wow.
In a year and a half. And then while I was there, Kiko, one of the students was a guy by the name of Randy Merrill. Okay. And he lived in Utah, and he went on to form the Merrill Footwear Corporation. Oh. So at the time, he was just a boot maker, and he said, "Hey, you know, when you get out of school, come and see me in Utah, and I'll give you a job." Oh. And so so when I left Oklahoma in 1976, I flew to New York City, and I applied for jobs at 3 places, and every one of them said they didn't want me. You know, no one was interested. Yeah, I know. One guy said, "How many pair have you made?" And I said, "I've made 13 pair." And then he said, "Well, come and see me when you've made 500." Wow. So anyway, so I really, at that point, I only had one job offer, and that was to go to Utah, which is what I did. So I flew to Utah, and I worked there for about a year. We made hiking boots and cowboy boots. And
is it all by hand?
Oh yeah, it's just basically, it's just like what we do today. You know, I mean, it was just a small shop, some machinery, but it was all just, you know, like no, it wasn't a giant place. Randy lived on an Arabian horse farm. Wow. And so that was his parents. Okay. And so so I would work there on the farm, and I could see, you know, horses being born and things like that. Yeah. So, you know, at the time I was 21. Yeah. And it was fun. And Utah is a beautiful place. But honestly, it didn't turn out to be what I wanted. Okay. And so that's when I think I was 22 years old. I was working in Roosevelt, Utah, and I got a job opportunity to come to Texas and work for Charlie Dunn. No, I was 23, 23. So so that's when I got on a plane and flew from Utah to Austin, and that was Thanksgiving of 1977. Wow! And ever since you've been in. And ever since I've been here. Yeah. So I worked for Charlie for 9 years. And of course I had heard about Charlie in Vermont. Charlie had a song written about him. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I'm not actually. Okay, well there's a singer by the name of Jerry Jeff Walker. Okay. And he wrote a song called Mr. Bojangles. Have you ever heard of that? You ever heard that
Mm-mm.
song, Mr.
Mm-mm.
Bojangles?
Mm-mm.
It's famous.
If I hear it, maybe,
Yeah.
but
Anyway,
it's the worst.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to sing it to you, but
Okay. Well, you
but
can.
anyway, no. But anyway, so Jerry Jeff was from
Uh-huh.
upstate New York,
Uh-huh.
and he, like Willie Nelson,
Mm-hmm.
settled here in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and he wrote a song about a bootmaker named Charlie Dunn, and that was in
Oh.
1971. So Charlie at the time was very old,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard that song when I was in Vermont trying to learn how to make cowboy boots.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking distinctly, he's famous
Yeah.
and I'll never be famous, but he's doing what I want to do. So that's what I was trying to do, was to make cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, go fast forward to Utah,
Yeah.
and I was offered a job to work
Mm-hmm.
for Charlie Dunn.
Charlie Dunn. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got on a plane, and then
Mm-hmm.
he was 79 when I met him,
Mm-hmm.
and I was 23. And I worked for Charlie for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he retired at the age of 88,
Mm-hmm.
I took over the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn, my wife, and I bought the shop,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had the shop ever since then. It was August of 1986.
Wow.
That's when we bought it.
Uh-huh.
So
And the
we've had
same location?
Exact same place. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you tell him the story that you've heard him on the?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Charlie was from Arkansas, and he would always say, you're a damn Yankee, and then he would always say, but we won't hold it against you, or, no, he used to say Vermont was where all the vermin were from, but we got along.
Uh-huh.
We fought a lot.
Okay.
We fought-
About
Oh,
design?
well, Charlie was 5'3".
Uh-huh.
He 5'3" or 5. He was 5'4",
Mm-hmm.
and he weighed about 135 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't a big man,
Right.
but he was big here.
Yeah.
He had a huge ego,
Oh.
And if I didn't laugh at his joke, or if I questioned him on anything,
Huh.
you got to remember he was 79,
Right.
and I was 23.
Right.
So he wore a beret, so he looked like a little French shoemaker.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Making cowboy boots.
Yeah. No.
Yes. And
So-
I see his signature style, like kind
Yeah.
of with all your that you've been kind of posting
Yeah.
archival photos recently.
Yeah. So his first customer here,
Uh-huh.
when he opened the shop, was the actor Peter Fonda,
Mm.
and Peter Fonda did the movie Easy Rider,
Mm.
which every teenager of my generation saw that movie. Anyway,
Mhm.
so Peter Fonda was Charlie Dunn's first customer, and he
Wow.
made boots for Carole King, and he made boots for lots of celebrities. And I got to meet him because I was here,
Yeah.
working for him. So here's Peter Fonda's pattern. Let's see if you can
Ooh.
see. So
Wow. Yeah.
So this was the front panel. Does that show up okay, or?
Yeah. Yeah. I can see.
Okay. And so here's the little initials. See?
Yeah. The initials are so delicate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I still have that. And like Charlie was really an amazing artist.
Mm-hmm.
And he made boots for a lot of rock and roll musicians.
Yeah.
Daryl Hall was one of them. And so here's one that he did, Kiko. And you can see there's marijuana.
Uh-huh. Can you go up higher a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, there. Can you see it okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's marijuana.
Yeah.
There's roses.
Uh-huh.
There's some mushrooms,
Uh-huh.
like peyote mushrooms or something.
Uh-huh.
So he was really very artistic. And so, years later, a guy came in from Nashville, and he wanted a pair of Charlie Dunn marijuana boots out of blue suede.
Mm.
So he asked me if I could do it. And
Okay.
So that was 1986. So here, can you see that, Kiko? Does that show up on?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see it's
Slowly.
marijuana.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very intricate.
Yeah, so the whole boots were marijuana.
Wow.
This was 1986.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this, you know, we made boots for the Western movie Lonesome Dove, starring Tommy Lee Jones. And this, I'll tell you the story about that. But these are the patterns for the boots for the movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but
I can't see the. Can I see a little bit? Wait.
Yeah, so you can see they're very plain.
Yeah.
But they got a long mule ear with a star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the funny thing is, you know, that they were making the movie in 1989, and they were filming it here in Austin. So Tommy Lee Jones flew here to Austin, and they had boots. They had boots made for him for the movie, and he tried them on, and they didn't fit. And so they were in a pickle because the filming was going to start in 4 days, and he had no boots to wear. So the movie takes place in 1880, and it's a cattle drive. So it was a famous book that won an award. But anyway, so somebody in the wardrobe department said, "Hey, Lee Miller is a bootmaker. Maybe they'll do it." So they called us up, and we tried to figure out how to get him in here. First, I was going to have to go to his ranch to measure him. Then I was going to have to go to the movie set to measure him. But then ultimately he came here. So I measured him for his boots, and they gave us 4 days to make them.
Wow.
So we did it. We stopped everything.
You did it.
And we worked, you know, 4 long days. So if you ever watch the movie.
Yeah, now I have to watch it again.
Yeah, then you'll see, they turned it into a mini series.
Okay.
But it's a great movie. And he wears our boots through the whole movie.
Wow. That's great. And it fit him so well.
Yeah, they fit.
I bet. Yeah. That's so great. Is that the most memorable boots you've made? I'm sure that you have so many that you can't even you don't have enough time to like tell us all the stories.
Well,
but
we've made a lot. Yeah. Thousands. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. So would you say Charlie Dunn is your mentor, or?
He was one of them.
One of them.
Yeah. So if you think about, you know, who were the biggest people for you, it might have been the very first man who gave me my job back in Vermont. His name was Martin Lenoci. He was the first person who was my mentor. And then I guess you could say Charlie was a huge mentor. And then there was another man in Dallas by the name of Carl Litke, who was a shoemaker and a last maker. Oh. And he was a mentor. And he's dead now, but he was a really cool guy.
Is he somebody that you learned like last making with, or did your school teach the last making as well?
Honestly, the schools, there's the old saying that when you go to school and then you get out in the real world, you find out that you didn't really learn in school what you need to know.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. That school was good. I mean, I worked constantly surrounded by people every day who knew more than me. And, there was like 30 kids in my class.
Wow.
And, men and women. And they were from all walks of life, military. There were some Native Americans there. And so that was a very good experience for me.
I wonder if you keep in touch with any of them or what they're doing.
Yeah, a few, yeah.
Making shoes?
Well, they're making boots.
I meant boots, yes.
Yeah, so they're still, I think the school might have lasted, 20 years after I left.
Wow, that's great.
And then eventually they stopped offering that course. So the course doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. So really the learning how to fit was just absolutely dismal.
Okay.
It was terrible. And then even working with Randy Merrill in Utah, we still didn't know how to fit. It was absolutely dreadful. The only way I learned how to fit was to come and work for Charlie. Charlie was known as a great artist and a master fitter.
Oh.
And so he was the one who really showed me how to fit.
That's
and then
great.
Carl Litke just kind of took that and made it even better, you know. So the cool thing is, I would say that those are my mentors, but the cool thing is that the longer you do this,
Yes.
you know, and I've been doing it now, I started 45 years ago.
Wow.
So the more you do it, the more people you meet.
Yeah.
From everybody, you learn something, and you never stop learning.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so even, you know, today I'm just constant. I mean, I look at Instagram. I'm in contact with a lot of people. I'm always trying to find out, you know, how to get better.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I know you're in your workshop. It's such a special space, and I know I've been, you know, would love to visit one day, but since I
Yeah.
can't, would we be able to have a little
Yeah.
tour?
Yeah, so let's see. This might be a little clumsy, but we'll start out at the door. Okay.
Okay.
So let me go back to the door.
And I see all the lasts hanging.
Yeah, so you
Were
can
they?
kind of see.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the screen, and so this is, a lot of people consider this very photogenic, because
Yeah.
the lasts, you can see the lasts hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then you've got a lot of stuff happening on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you walk in, Kiko, you know, we've got a whole group of, like, here's Peter Fonda.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
There's his last.
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Palmer, the golfer.
Wow.
Here's Willie Nelson.
Uh-huh.
If it's showing up on. So we have a lot of celebrity lasts.
Mm-hmm.
So then here, this is my bench. You can see.
Wow.
Let's see if that's working.
Lots of patterns. You know, if you click on the screen,
yeah.
If you click on the screen once, it's going to flip to the other side. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
It's easier.
Okay, so thank you. Yeah. So this is a customer that I'm working on,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is a traditional measuring for me.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, on this foot,
Mm-hmm.
what I did is I found the metatarsals.
Yeah.
See. There's the metatarsals. I found the center of the heel.
Yeah.
And then I have a line bisecting that.
Yep. Yep.
And then I've drawn what I believe is in the toe shape. The easiest thing to do is really go from the ball,
yeah,
back around the heel,
yeah,
and then to the other side.
yeah.
And then you've got to do the toes.
Yeah.
And the toe area is a little bit more vague, and that's where you really got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So here, this is a traditional tracing here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've got an ink print. Now the pedograph, I first saw the pedograph in 1976 when I was working for Randy Merrill, and that's where I first saw it. And then I went to Ball State University, and I took an orthopedic course, and that was 1986, and they also stressed the pedograph. So that's when I got the pedograph. That's when I bought one. And then here, this is kind of cool. So you'll see there's a, let's see if that'll show up. There's a side profile of the customer's foot.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So you can do it either flat or you can do it elevated.
Right.
And so this is flat.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of decide what works for you.
Right.
So there you see, this is my workbench.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a pair that I'm working on now. And then let's go over here. Here's a sander. This is just a belt sander.
Yeah.
Here's a picture. This is Michael Anthony, a bootmaker in Sebastopol, California. Okay, so
you have so many people that join you. You have like a wall of students.
Well, he's not one of my students.
Oh,
he's just a friend. So this is the most. There's a sander. Let me see. Here's a workbench here. You can see this is a workbench. Yeah. We've got thread hanging up. These are crimping boards. Yeah, crimping boards. We've got, this is a sewing machine, and it's also a cutting head. 3115. Here's a skiver. Yeah.
I heard that you don't use it as much, the skiver.
Well, I mean, we use it for bulk stuff. This is a 3115. This is a straight needle. Let's uncover it. This is a straight needle. This is from 1900.
Wait, can we see?
Yeah, I'm uncovering it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a straight. So that's a straight needle.
Uh-huh.
You can see the guide.
Yep.
And so we use that for side seaming.
Uh-huh.
There's another workbench with
Uh-huh.
hooks.
Yep.
Got a post machine under this.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then there's a
Yep.
curved needle.
Yep. For the
Okay.
outsole stitcher.
And then you
Yep.
can see these are all the funny chairs that we sit on.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. For your
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then these are the little workbenches that Charlie Dunn designed.
Uh-huh.
So when you went to work for Charlie, the first thing he did is he gave you a workbench, and this is what they look like.
Great.
So in 1977, I got that's Dana's bench, that one right there.
Mm.
And then this is mine, and then so we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got some boots here that are here to be fixed. We're making a pair of joggers right now. Here's some boots we made. These are cool boots. We made these for Lyle Lovett.
Oh.
Let's see. You can see the.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, so these are in to be fixed.
Uh-huh.
Here's a pair that are in to be fixed that I made, and I've got to completely redo them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were fixed by somebody who didn't know how to fix them. And they destroyed them.
Oh.
This is an inline finisher from World War II.
Yeah.
So one of your questions, Kiko, was you said, what is your favorite
tool? Yes.
And I'm about to show you.
Yes.
This is it.
What? Uh-huh.
What is that?
What is that? Is that a last?
This is a last trap.
Trap. Okay.
So a last maker would you have a last trap, and so a last trap does four things. It measures heel height. Yeah. Which is here. Yeah. It measures wedge angle, which is here. And wedge angle is the distance from point A to point B. Okay. So like a shoe would have 0 degree wedge angle. It'd be flat in the heel. Okay. And then a lady's pump last might have 9 degrees. So you can measure heel height. You can measure wedge angle. Yeah. You can measure toe spring. Yeah. There's toe spring. Toe spring. Okay. And the coolest thing of all is you can find tread point. So tread point, and I'll put this up here. You can see the yellow crayon on there. Yeah. On the surface. Yeah. So you put the last on the on the last trap. Yeah. And then you very carefully pivot the last. Yeah. Like that. And that puts a yellow dot of crayon on the bottom. And that yellow dot is tread point. It's tread point. Yeah. So ideally what I want, Kiko, is I want that tread point to land right here, and I'll show you. Right there. Yes, right. Okay. Second metatarsal. So when I set up a last, I use the last trap. I know what the heel height is, and I know what the toe spring is, and I know what the wedge angle is. Yeah. But what I'm looking for specifically is tread point. And I had an English shoemaker come in here. I'll put this on here. And he said, well, we don't have a last trap, Lee. Yeah. But what we look for this line. See that line, Kiko? Yeah, yeah. From the first joint to the small toe. Yeah. That's the straight ball. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. And so what they call that is tread line. Yeah. And so when this shoemaker would say, we put it up on a block. Yeah. And then we want that last to pivot on tread line. Yeah. So they don't have a last trap. Right. They just use that method. So the last trap is way more exact. Right. I mean, it doesn't lie. It is what it is. So I can go ahead and I can fine tune the fit by using that method. Right. Even when you use like the size run or the same kind of last. you can
you
pinpoint
can,
what's the right size.
right,
So in the old days, I might spend 2 days trying to figure out what's the right length,
right.
heel to ball,
Uh-huh.
and the last trap will tell you in like a second.
Right.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
so this machine, Kiko,
Mm-hmm.
was made by Carl Littke, one of
Mm-hmm.
my mentors. So
Mm.
you can't buy these machines.
No.
You have to make them. And so
Mm.
what he did is he went to St. Louis
Mm-hmm.
and he bought an old last trap. It
Mm-hmm.
was all beat up and no good. And then he went ahead and he made his own last trap using
Mm.
referencing that. So this is the one that
Wow.
he made, and you can see how you
Wow.
can pivot it. And this is see how I've got some notes on there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Dana's. Dana put these up. And anyway,
Oh,
so uh,
that's,
so
yeah,
so
that's,
so you can kind of see the shop. You
yeah.
know, the shop is filled with stuff that I've got
Yeah.
to fix.
Orders. Yeah.
These boots we made, and I've got to
Mm.
fix these boots.
Mm.
Here's a pair. These are really cool. These boots,
Yeah.
I love. Those boots were made for this famous musician, and I've got to go ahead and change his feet grew, so I've got to
Wow.
take them apart.
How long ago did you make them? And then,
These are 2008.
wow.
So 12 years later,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to make them bigger.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And then, you know, we've got the shop is filled with words of wisdom.
Yes.
This is, you know, let me see. This is from 1209.
Uh-huh.
These are, you know, this is, and then, you know, we've got, this is some showing how to cut
How to
stuff.
cut. Oh,
You know,
interesting.
here's a lady wearing a high
Yeah.
heel. There's an X-ray.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so this is a Roman last.
A Roman. Okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
this is you know, so I've got the shop is filled with notes.
Yeah.
This is our whiteboard,
Uh-huh.
things that we're working on, you know. So anyway, so this is the very last thing, Kiko, is
Ooh.
we've got a beautiful. Now I'm going to take you next door.
Horseshoe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you have a next door.
yeah. So
What is the horse? Yeah.
Oh, the horseshoe.
I feel like there's stories behind everything.
Yeah, so the horseshoe was given to me by the mother of a woman who made, we had a woman who worked here, and her mother made horseshoes. So she made us a horseshoe. So here's the office, Kiko.
Yeah.
See, and then so we're going to go inside.
Okay.
What
do you do in the office? What is
so this is
measuring?
This is the original sign.
Ooh.
The Texas Traditions, boots by Charlie Dunn.
Wow.
Okay, so that was the sign that was hanging here when I came to work here.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a picture of Charlie Dunn. Let me see if this is what he looked like.
Wow.
See?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
Beautiful
anyway,
homage. Yeah.
so the customers come in, and this is where we measure their feet.
Their feet.
Okay. You can see the cool little.
Yeah. Handle.
There's your little.
Yeah.
So this is
All the
where I
details.
measure their feet.
Yeah.
And then here's boots that we've got for display. So.
Wow. So people can kind of get an idea of the style.
Yeah. So I mean,
as well
this is just for people to look at.
Okay.
Yeah. And so let me see. I'll show you. So Charlie Dunn did these. Here we go. I'll put this on the carpet and you can see it. There we go. See?
Wow.
So those were his personal boots.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a book here from.
Oh, that bookshelf looks much fun.
Yeah, you can see all these books.
Wow. Have you read through them?
Some of them.
Mm-hmm. There's
Not
a
all.
lot.
There's so many, and you know, it's like I'll grab a book and I'll start reading it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find a certain book. Let me see. Oh yeah, here it is. So this book here, Kiko. This is the first cowboy boot book that came out. This was written by a New Yorker in 1981.
Okay.
And so they came to the boot shop. And they, you know, there it is there.
Uh-huh.
So let me turn to, okay, hang on a second.
Sure.
So it should open right up to, hang on, I'm going to set the phone down.
Sure. Do customers always come and visit you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, so this, Kiko, so these boots here, see those boots?
Yeah.
There they are in the book.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And there's
That's
Charlie.
him.
There's Charlie.
In his berets. Yeah.
And then there's me.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh. That's great. That's great. Is that the boots that you were making? This one?
No, I mean,
No.
I don't know what I was working on that day, but if you notice, I'm wearing my Adidas. So
that's the youngster in you,
yeah,
right?
that's I think I was 26 in that
Yeah.
picture,
Yeah.
But anyway, so these boots are cool, Kiko. These were not made here.
Uh-huh.
These were made at another shop. These were made in 1976.
Okay.
And so we've made many pairs of these. The guy who made these was the man who made all of these boots for Lucchese.
Wow. Okay.
Those were made, you know, so those are famous boots.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is the office. You know, this is where Carlin works. You know, this is her workstation. And you know, this is a picture of Charlie Jun when Charlie was 90.
Wow.
When this picture was taken.
Wow.
Somebody had given, so there he is. And he's wearing, those boots that he's holding were made in 1940. He made those.
Wow.
So he was born in 1898.
Wow.
And so his father and his grandfather and his people, you know, they were from Ireland, but you know, they were all boot and shoemakers. So.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so
but
this is the
style.
boot shop. Yeah, this is the boot shop. And,
yeah.
So we've got stuff here from all over. I'll show you the oldest boot here.
History. I love that you have the history like right there lined up.
So this is 1935. That boot.
Yeah. Wow.
And then this is 1942.
Wait, let me see.
1942. And 1946. Here we go.
I wonder if has anybody asked you to make a book?
No. Wow. I'm writing a book, but no one has asked me to.
Oh, I think you should definitely write a book and a history. And look at all. There was like do I see a riding boot? Is that a last?
Yeah, there's. Let's go. We're gonna go in the leather room.
Whoa.
So this is where people come, and you can see everywhere you look. There's just lasts and leather.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so here is this skin. Let's see if you recognize. Do you recognize this skin?
No.
So this is from this shipwreck.
Oh.
Here it is here.
Is that the one off of the coast of England?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. The one that smells like the sea?
Yeah, well, it smells like birch oil.
Birch oil. Yeah.
So this is from the shipwreck, and you can see there's the tail.
Yeah.
See, so that we haven't cut that up. That's where the antlers were, right there. Wow. And you can see it's hanging by where the eye was. So
wow.
We did make a pair of boots out of this material, and they went to London. But this skin was given to me by my mentor, Carl Littke.
Wow.
And I'm not going to cut it up. So we're just going to keep it. But anyway, so you can see, Kiko, I mean, everywhere you look, there's lace, there's leather.
Leather, yeah.
Ostrich.
Yeah.
alligator.
Oh my goodness. So this is where
Yeah, this is all kangaroo.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Wow. When you design for a client, do they kind of give you an idea, or do you have like full reins for design?
It varies. Some people
Mm-mm.
come in and they know exactly what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and then some people know exactly what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and some people, need help. Like
Right.
somebody might come in and they might say, well, I want this historical boot, and they'll show me a picture. Like we made 3 pair of Civil War boots
Okay.
for a museum, and they brought in, a Civil War boot, and they said, make us 3 pair. So that's what we did.
Mm.
So, but anyway,
You
so,
have
so this is the shop, Kiko. This is
That's
this is
amazing.
every day when I come into work, this is what I see.
This is great. And you have so much. The history is right behind you, like all of them lined up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's wonderful. What's your favorite part of the process of shoemaking or boot
Well,
making?
it would be the last.
The lasting.
Yeah, measuring feet
Oh,
and,
okay.
and, and going ahead and setting up the last.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, the rest of it
Yeah.
you can learn how to do.
Yes.
In other words, in terms of difficulty,
Yeah.
the last and fitting
Yeah.
is number one.
Yeah.
And if you ever fail, it's going to be because of that.
Yeah.
It won't be generally, I mean, you can learn how to fancy stitch, and you can learn how to skive, and you can learn how
Mm-hmm.
to inlay, and you
Mm-hmm.
can learn how to toe box and build heels and sew them. And, you know, you can learn that. It's difficult, but it's not as hard.
Yeah.
But the fitting is the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I may spend 2 days trying to get it right.
Mm,
And
wow.
so that's my favorite part is the
Mm,
fitting.
that's
Yeah.
great. Do you have anybody that you can pass down the information, or is that kind of like,
Well, everybody who works here
yeah,
is learning that.
that's
You
great.
know, so every Dana, Charlotte, Graham, everybody who's worked here before
Mm-hmm.
has focused on that. But
Mm,
but yes, there's nothing that I don't teach them.
that
Nothing.
is.
Yeah.
When did you start taking apprentices?
But you have to understand something.
Yeah.
When you have a shop
Yeah.
and we have a 4-year backlog.
Okay.
So I have
Wow.
4 years worth of boots to make.
Yeah.
So if you can't find a boot maker, what are you going to do?
Right.
Well, you have to train them.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to you and they said, listen, I want to learn how to make boots, I'm sincere, will you train me?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So you cannot hire a boot maker.
Mm.
There's so few of them.
Yes.
So the only way is to find
To
somebody
train somebody.
yeah, so Charlotte came here.
Mm-hmm.
She's originally from Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and her background was art and
Mm-hmm.
pottery,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted to learn how to make boots.
Uh-huh.
So and then Graham, who works here, same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Graham started coming in and saying, hey, will you please show me? And, so Dana, the same thing with Dana.
Yeah.
Dana wanted to do an apprenticeship with me, which
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
And then eventually we hired her.
Yeah.
And so really it all goes back to in the old days, 30, 40 years ago, you could find help.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays you cannot find help.
Yeah. So you
So
train.
you have to train them. So if you have a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
you can't do it all yourself.
No. Yeah.
And so,
So
and plus, I'll be honest with you, it's fun.
yeah.
It's fun to have some people around
Yes.
you that learn.
I agree.
There's no greater compliment to you as a person than somebody coming and saying, "Hey, will you please teach me to do
Yeah.
what you do?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. But so you said you have 4-year backlog. Does that mean your wait time is about 4 years?
Well, those are 4 years worth of orders where we've been giving deposits.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally have thousands of people that want boots.
Yeah.
But we have 400. We have 4 years worth of boots to make.
Wow.
And some of them are reorders.
Yeah.
Old customers.
Yeah.
Who want another pair.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them
are new.
And some of them are brand new customers.
Yeah.
And they come from all over the world.
Yeah.
We have customers in Japan, and Germany, and France, Australia. I mean, you name it.
Yeah. And when they're from overseas, do they still come and visit you, or do you visit them? Or
we will make you a pair of boots without measuring your feet.
Wow.
But we don't guarantee the fit.
Right.
And so we make that explicitly known that unless you let me measure you, we can't guarantee it. Now, I had one guy from Austria who sent me a pair of boots that fit him well, and he said, just use this as a guide and make me boots like this. So we were successful, and so you can do that. But I would say 99.9% of the customers come here to get fitted.
Oh, that's great. And you also have a face to the name, and you have a relationship with a person. I guess it is nicer, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess, so during this lockdown, you were not taking a break. You just had to keep on working on your orders. Wow.
We took a week off.
Yeah.
We Carlin and I didn't work for a week.
Good.
But now, it's back to work.
Back, yeah.
I mean, we answer the phone, we answer emails, but we don't let anybody come in.
No, right.
So, we're not seeing anybody. People are saying, hey, come in, let me get my feet measured. And we're saying, no. You just got to wait.
Yeah.
So,
if you had the unlimited resource and time, what in the world, what kind of shoes or boots would you make, and for who? If you had absolutely no list of anybody's, no responsibilities.
well, probably one of my dreams would be to make stock boots. And so, I create a last that let me show you a book.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Can you see that okay? Are you familiar? Are you familiar with this book?
No. Or is it's flipped, so it's kind of hard to read.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll flip it. There you go. Okay. So this book. See it? Shoemaker of Dreams.
Bergamo. Yeah. Oh, the cover is different.
So I have two of them.
Yeah.
But I read this book in 1986. And it, what I was looking for, Kiko, was I was looking for the secret to fit, and how to fit. I was just so wanting to know how to fit and do a good job, and I was so frustrated because he doesn't really say.
No.
Have you read the book?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he doesn't say. He teases you.
Yes.
But he doesn't.
But it's inspirational. I love that book.
Yeah. So anyway, he teases you as to the secret of fit.
Yeah.
So I was determined to find that out. So that was 1986, and I think I finally figured it out. I don't know, probably 10 years ago.
By experience, really.
By doing.
Yeah.
And so if I had unlimited resources, what I would do is I would design a last and just make a whole run of boots that I thought were super cool. Just standard sizes.
Yeah.
But the fact is, using what I know about lasts to design the perfect last. One that I know is what they call a good fitter. I remember meeting a famous last maker in Wichita Falls, and he was quite old at the time. And my friend Carl Littke says, "Oh, you got to meet this guy. He's the most famous last maker ever." So I met him, and I asked him the one question that I wanted to know: what makes a good last? And his response was like, floored me. He said, a good last is anything they tell me is a good last. So he didn't know. He didn't know what made a good last. He just listened to whatever the shoe manufacturer said, and then he would just, that's a good last. But the fact of the matter is, he didn't know. And that's the thing that you really find out, is that last makers can make lasts, and boot and shoemakers can make footwear and fit feet. But last makers don't know how to fit feet. They just know how to make lasts.
Right. So
And
you
so,
need
so,
both.
so you have to take the knowledge of the last maker and the knowledge of the boot and shoemaker, put them together, and then you get a good last.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so that's what I have. That's what I've done here.
Yeah.
So everything that I do is made on my model that I've created, which I know is to be a good fitter.
That is great.
Yeah. So
I think it's you said it's like a dream, but I think it's possible to have you could totally do this.
Oh yeah. Well,
yes.
that was you said if.
Yes.
And so if I had unlimited resources and unlimited time, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
But right now, I have 4 years of boots to make.
Yeah.
And a book to write.
Right. And a book to write. Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, I'll probably never do that other.
Okay, we have to recruit somebody else to come to your shop and work on some things so that to take off some load off of your hands.
Yeah. Right.
Do you have kind of like a signature stitch, or can people tell that it's from your shop when they look at the boot upper designs, or is it more maybe the fit?
I would say I'm going to flip it. I would say that you can kind of tell my boots because they have a certain look. Yeah. If you were to say, what is your signature design, I would probably say, I do a lot of this kind of stuff, where you see, you'll see some inlay and fancy stitching. Yeah. And then in terms of a toe, this toe is my favorite toe. This is a box toe, and you see the beautiful forward slant. Yeah. So I would say that's the look that I love. And that's kind of a favorite. So I do a little bit of inlay and some fancy stitching. A lot of
stitching. Yeah.
Now, I mean, I do other things too. Like there's an eagle boot you can see. Yeah. Do you put your branding somewhere, or? Oh yeah, I mean, we have our own brand, and like it's on the heel pad.
Heel pad.
Yeah, it's also in the top lining. So so my signature would be probably stitching, and that we do a lot of tulips. Here's a boot we made with tulips. So what I love to do is I love to go back in time and find old stuff, old designs, and recreate them. Yeah. This is a boot we made in 1989.
Oh, wow.
And those boots, so there's a museum in Germany, in Offenbach. And it's the largest footwear museum in the world. And they wrote me a letter in 1989, and they said, would you please do something for the museum?
Yes.
So they said, you do anything you want. Yeah, do anything you want. So you can see I did a Blackfoot French calf with a red top, and then I did this design, and you can see my stamp right there. Yeah. Wow. So they we gave the boots to the museum.
Nice. So they have it.
I haven't seen them since 1989. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I have so many questions, but actually Instagram lets us only do 60 minutes, and it's already been 60 minutes almost. Oh, so okay. It's gonna time out. So I was thinking, is it possible for me to pause it and go back on for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I mean, if
you have time.
Yeah, I have time. Absolutely.
Great. then I will end it, and then I'm going to go on shortly.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yep.